college or no college in 2025, and probably for every year moving forward. That's what we're going to discuss today in this video. I know there's a lot of young people out there in high school who are probably thinking about, this is my last year in high school. Am I going to college? Am I not going to college? So I'm going to give you guys my personal experience with college as somebody who has gone to college and made it work for myself, but also give you the experience of all the millionaires that I know who also may or may not have gone to college and share their experience, because there's something very interesting to be said about what they have done. And this isn't me giving you advice. I'm not teaching you anything here. I'm just sharing experience and wisdom to hopefully help you make the right decision for yourself, because it's a very personal decision. You're not me. You're not any of these millionaires that I've talked to. You're yourself, and you're on your own life path, really. That's what you need to recognize. I don't want anyone here to think that copying what I have done or copying what they have done is going to make you successful, because it's not. Being authentic to yourself is really going to be the key to your success. And just learning from other people's experiences can help give you some shortcuts. So let's dive into this topic. When you're looking about going into college, you need to ask yourself, well, what's my goal with college? How is college going to serve me? Because if college doesn't serve you, then why would you go in the first place? And some of you may be thinking about, well, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, or I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, college is a very expensive way to either A, find out what you're going to do, or B, find out that you never needed to be there to begin with. So if you don't know what to do, college is probably not the right move. It really doesn't make much sense for anybody. So why would you go to college? You go to college because you need a certain skill. Now, the truth is, with the internet and everything, you don't even need college to learn skills anymore. You really just need college because it's going to give you access to licenses that'll make it legal for you to operate. So, for example, I'm a registered nurse. There's no other way to do it without college, okay? I can't just go on Google all day, learn everything about nursing, and then think that they're going to let me work in a hospital or start some kind of medical business. Never going to happen. So I needed a license to be able to do that, and that's why I had to go to college. If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be an accountant, an engineer, or anything that requires a license that makes you go through college, then yeah, you have to go through college. And if that's what you want to do with your life, then yes, college makes a lot of sense for you, no matter how much it costs, because there's always a way to finance college and make it work for you. You don't have to go to the craziest expensive school. I went to some small school. I went to a community college, and my high school ended up paying for it. And then I went to some small state university and got a bunch of scholarships. I mean, there's ways to do college for next to nothing and take on almost no debt. If you can go to college and accomplish your life goals and end up walking away with no debt, then that's perfect. You don't need to go to Harvard. You don't need to go to Duke. I'm telling you, in the real world, nobody cares. Really, nobody cares where you went to, what you learned, what your grades were. Nobody's going to ask you. I hire a bunch of nurses every year. I really don't care where they went to school. I'm more concerned about who they are, their personality, their skill set, because there's a big difference between having a piece of paper that says this is who you are and actually being who you are. So that's the first thing you really need to understand, is that having a piece of paper isn't going to make you a better person, okay? So if you need college to accomplish a career goal of yours, then college can make a lot of sense. If you don't have a career goal that requires college, I personally don't see the need to go to college. There's no reason. And you might be like, well, how am I going to get a job, or how am I going to make money? I pay people who've never gone to college more money than you can imagine, and they're part of my team. Why? Because they're good at what they do. I don't care, man. I don't care what their grades were. I don't care what their college was. A lot of them didn't even go to college. So some people may just I want the college experience. Well, why do you want the college experience? Have you really thought about why you want that? Is it your own idea? Is it what you actually want? Who told you that you need the college experience? To me, it's all one big psyop marketing push that they've tricked everybody into thinking that they have to go to college, they have to have some kind of college experience, they have to do the frat life and all that. You don't. You really don't. Who said you had to? You do what you want to do. If that's what you really want to do, ask yourself, sit in a room, quiet, no distractions. Ask yourself, is that really what I want? Do I really want to pay $20,000 a year to hang out with some friends that probably won't remember me after I graduate? Think about it, okay? And I'm not saying the networks and things there that you'll make aren't going to be valuable. I'm just saying, is that really what you want? Ask yourself, because maybe it is. Maybe that is what you want to do, and that's totally okay. But if it's not what you want to do, if you feel like it's been forced upon you and you're having that kind of sense, then why would you force yourself to do it? Makes no sense, okay? So in my line of business, I work with plenty of millionaires, like plenty of millionaires. And I always ask them, like, what do you do? How'd you get in this? How long did it take? There's so many lessons you can learn from it. But the first thing you need to understand before I can share these lessons with you is that you are not them, you are not me, you are you. So don't think you can just copy anybody that I mentioned here or that one particular strategy is going to work best, because you're on a different life path. You have to understand that. Just be authentic to yourself and you'll be successful in being yourself. You don't want to try to copy anybody here because it's not going to work for you. But I like to ask them because I like to understand and see where they're coming from and get a different perspective, because it gives you ideas, it gives you experience, or shares their experience with you. It just helps to know, but it doesn't mean that's the optimal way to do it. So with all the millionaires that I've asked, it's like 50-50. It is like some of these people didn't go to college and some of them did go to college. And what was really interesting to me is that the people who ended up going to college said, you know what, I really didn't need college now that I think about it. So the people who went to college said they don't need college. And the people who didn't go to college thought that their life would have been easier had they gone to college. And even more interestingly enough, the people who went to college and became a millionaire, they don't send their kids to college. They're like, yeah, I'm not going to pay for my kids' college. I don't see the value in it. But the millionaires that I know who didn't go to college and hustled their way to the top, they're like, I paid for all my kids' colleges. I sent them all to college. And it's really just like a weird shift in perspective. So if you just want to know the answer, do you need to go to college or not to be financially successful? The answer is no. College will make zero impact on your financial success. Okay, but let's look a little bit into this, is that people want what they don't have, and they think that their life would be better if they had it. So when you look at all of these people who didn't go to college, they're all thinking, wow, if I only went to college, my life would have been so much easier. I wouldn't have had to been in the trenches for so long. My business would have been built more successfully. I would have had a better job. They think that it would have been easier for them. And that's why they send their kids to college, because they want to give them that opportunity. While the others were like, yeah, I went to college and it was just 4 years of my life and a little bit of debt. And they're like, I don't see the value in that. And I want my kids to learn how to hustle without college because they don't need college. So such an interesting frame of mind. So if you're somebody who is in high school right now and you're considering going to college, just heed these words. Listen to the wisdom. Sit in a room by yourself. Don't ask anybody for some advice on this. You don't need advice. You already know the answer. Nobody can tell you what you don't know already, okay? And all I can do here on this video is just remind you of what you've forgotten. Just help stimulate some thought. But you need to sit down with yourself in a quiet room. Don't listen to music. Don't listen to nothing. Quiet room, and just sit with yourself and ask yourself for advice. Ask yourself, when was the last time you asked yourself a question and got an answer from yourself? Don't ask me what you should do. Don't ask any of these millionaires. Ask yourself what you should do, because you're on your own path. And trust me, the universe will give you the information. You may not have an immediate answer right now, but it will come. Trust that it will come. And whatever decision you decide to make, stick with it until the end and live the consequences. That's part of life. Maybe you realize it was a mistake. Maybe you realize it wasn't. Either way, the universe was trying to teach you something. You're not always going to make the right decision, but in your life path, you're always going to make the decision, and it's always going to teach you something. So just make a decision and stick with it. There's no pressure. Yeah, it could be maybe life-altering, but the experiences that you're going to get from making a decision and staying accountable to it far surpass anything else that college would ever teach you, or even not going to college would ever teach you. There's more wisdom in that than any book will ever teach you. Okay? So that's part of the wisdom I wanted to share with you, and just my personal experience with college. Why did I go to college? I went to college because I had the opportunity to go to college, and I wanted to be a nurse. If I didn't want to be a nurse, truthfully, I probably would not have gone to college, because I don't know what I would have studied. I didn't want to do anything else. I went to college because I was like, I want to be a nurse, or I want to be a doctor, and thought I was going to do something with it. And while I was in college, I realized what I really wanted was I wanted a business. And I didn't care if it was nursing or being a doctor or whatever. It ended up happening to be a nursing business where I needed to work with doctors and medical professionals. And I'm grateful that I had that experience in college. But I didn't care where my business came from at that point. So it doesn't matter. So it just depends on what you're trying to achieve. Okay? Now, if you're going to do college, here's some practical advice for you. okay? You don't need to show off, all right? It doesn't matter what college you go to. The key to college is realizing what you want out of life. If your life goal is I want to go to Harvard, and that's going to be a life-defining moment for you, then go to Harvard, okay? It doesn't matter. But if you're just somebody who's like, I just want to get the license that I need so I can go make some money, then just get the license and go make some money. You don't need to go to some expensive school. You don't need to pay a bunch of money to somebody that, professors who have no real world experience of what you're trying to do. If you're like, I need to go to college so I can make some connections with these people, I'm sure there's some fraternities out there who can plug you in. So just think about how you're going to utilize it, okay? But you don't need to go to college and spend a bunch of money. There are ways to do college for free. You can go to community college. You can go to universities and get some scholarships. There's no reason to fork out tens of thousands of dollars. And there's a lot of people who go to school for business. Why? You know how I got my MBA? I started a business and I failed at it. And after that, everything else has been uphill because I learned by failing in business. And now I succeed in business because I learned. That was my MBA. So you don't need to go to college, especially for business, unless there's something to it that I don't understand. And the truth is I didn't go to college for business, so I couldn't tell you. But I started a business without it. I didn't need a business degree. I learned business by actually doing business. And if you're somebody who wants to do business, you're far better off taking the $100,000 that it would have taken you to get your degree and putting it into a business than it would to give it to some college professors or some university and for them to teach you business. Because there's a huge difference, and this was even in nursing school, between learning in school versus learning in the real world. I did not learn how to be a good nurse until I stepped foot in the ER. I didn't know how to be a nurse until they put some dying patients on my bed in front of me and I had to do something about it. That's when I actually learned. And that's how you're going to learn as well. You're not going to learn business until you actually do business. So do business. If you want to do business, go do some business. Go lose some money. Go experiment. Go try some things. If you're in your teens or your early 20s, this is the perfect time to take risk. Because worst case scenario, you're going to be okay. Worst case scenario, you move back in with your parents. You team up with some friends to pay the rent. You'll always figure it out. There's always going to be food. You can survive off almost no food. You can sleep on the floor. There's ways to make it. You can leave the country, go live in some developing country for like pennies a day and be okay. So now's the time to take unproportional risk. And that's a little bit off topic from this college thing, but don't be scared. Okay, just do it. Do the things you need to do because now's the time to take risk. Once you have a wife, a family, kids, mortgage, car payments, whatever, then it's going to be much harder to take risks because now you have a lot more to lose. But right now is the optimal time. You have nothing to lose, my friend. So why aren't you taking action? Okay? So hopefully this little bit of wisdom will help you all in your journey. And if it does, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Okay? Leave a like, comment below. I'm happy to answer questions. And if you want to get some more mentorship or just I share some random thoughts, I have a Telegram channel below that you can join, and I just share little bits of wisdom every day or every so often as I learn things, just to help you guys along with your journey. Okay. The last piece of advice I want to leave you guys with is if you want to learn something, go find somebody who's already done it. So if you want to start XYZ business, go to LinkedIn, go on Instagram. I don't care. Talk to your network. Find out who did what you want to do. Send him an email, call him, text him, show up to his office, whatever it takes, and just ask him how he did it. That's what I did when I wanted to start my mobile IV business. I was like, well, who's already doing it? And I talked to them about it, and I learned how to do it. And trust me, these people are way more willing to share than you would believe. There's a lot of generous people out there. Not everybody's going to say yes. Not everybody's going to want to share the sauce with you, but a lot of people are more than willing to help you along your journey as well. So ask and you shall receive. Alrighty, my friends, be wise. I'll see you in the next video.